All right, boys and girls, today we're going to go through some of the top Web3 tokens that you should be investing into because Web3 is going to be the next metaverse, right? So metaverse was just crazy, gaming, P2E, and we want to know what is going to come up next. Well, it's Web 3.0, guys. And with that being said, I'm, of course, the most open-minded investor / NFT artist on YouTube with a diverse appetite for risky asset classes ranging between shopping centers and shitcoins, but not government bonds, creating contact-led, family-friendly, cookie-accepting, cat-free, technical and specialized tutorials and guidelines to harness the generational wealth transfer found in crypto trends. And last, as a believer of Jesus Christ and a fan of Gary and an extremely well-educated and multilingual Korean, but with hair naturally curly than the average male and highly coveted by many moms and daughters, also known as Handel Kim. So why Web 3.0, guys? Web 3.0 is the next biggest thing in cryptocurrency. Well, in the world as we know it, right? Web 3.0 is going to just revolutionize. Why does Web 3.0 matter? Web 3.0 matters because it puts the power back into the little guys, right? Not the big guys where they keep things really unhelpful, but it's going to decentralize the internet as we know it, right? What are some examples of that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to first dive into categories on CoinMarketCap, right? And we're going to look up Web3, not Ep3, Web3. That's it. Web3 is ranked number 114, and I'm gonna jump into this list here, which then CoinMarketCap has very helpfully, right, put together all the list of tokens that you can get. And we're gonna talk about what are some of the top coins that I'm looking at, right? And something that you guys should do some research into as well in this space, right? So we're gonna make its way from the top, and we're gonna look at how that helps put more power into the hands of the people that are using the actual token. Helium, for example, is a fantastic example. Okay, Helium. What does Helium do? Well, Helium is a cryptocurrency that you can mine by creating like a hotspot of internet. So instead of your major sort of, what are they called? Instead of your major internet service providers, ISPs, instead of them taking all this money, you can set these stations up around, around the city or what have you, depending on where you live. And people just connect into that. It is so much cheaper to run the internet on, and it actually gives further and greater access. It incentivizes people to actually own these miners. Too bad that there's just not enough of them around the world. Now, Helium is just one of those tokens that have been performing so strongly that every time there is a bounce in the market, like every time there's a dip, it bounces the hardest. So Helium is something that I definitely really recommend, especially right now when the market is down. These are coins that are going to be the ones that are going to be the quickest to spring right back up. We've seen that happen in the summer in the United States and the winter of Australia. When Bitcoin dipped, we've seen like the hottest coin back then, which was like Polygon. It still kind of is. They would just make the biggest gain. So right now, some of the hottest coins to look for are like your Helium, your Binance Decentraland, and also Polygon to some extent. Of course, Terra Luna is another one as well. So we're going to be keeping an eye on these strong coins every time it dips, because those are the good coins then for you to actually jump into. Helium is definitely one of them. It takes the power away from the big guys and gives it to the little guys. That's what Web3 is all about. Okay, next coin that we're going to look at is StoreJ. StoreJ is a fantastic coin because StoreJ is used for storage, right? Why is storage important? And it's decentralized especially. And we've seen that StoreJ actually moves in tandem with the metaverse as well, and maybe a little bit delayed reaction for metaverse, which is really helpful because when the metaverse pumps, then you're going to have these storage coins pump, because metaverse actually you need to hold quite a lot of data to be able to do it. And where's all that data going to be stored on? What's going to be stored on use cases that StoreJ is responsible for. This is another fantastic coin that is definitely on my watch list. Ocean Protocol is on my watch list as well. Quickly going to brush over that one. And then we like to look at iOS. iOS is definitely a fantastic platform because a lot of the YouTubers are actually behind this as well. There's been a good growth in this coin. And you know what? Definitely great position to actually dollar cost average, and especially with the dipping market as well. Because iOS is one of those things where the viewers of the content actually can generate content. So it's like a plugin that's going to integrate with your YouTube. And when you actually watch the content, you actually get a bit of the money coming through as well. The creators themselves can actually create their own tokens too, which then allows for the viewership to actually invest into the creators themselves and basically creates another creator economy within of it itself without having to fork out too much money to the centralized authority, in this case being YT. I'm going to say YT because if YT picks up on the word YT, not the acronym, but the actual word, I'm on the platform still, you know what I'm saying? So obviously then it allocates the funds where the advertiser then pays money to this body and it gets distributed to the creators. That a certain portion of it will actually go to the viewers as well, which would be a fantastic distribution, which means you can like get paid to watch something really funny or interesting. The rumor has it that, well, I think it's actually a fact by now, it's well-established fact that Mr. Beast and also KSI is behind this project as well. They're one of the initial investors in it as well, which is great. Moving forward, Parse IQ is definitely a good project as well. The market did dip quite hard onto this coin as well. For those of you who actually picked up the coin around about that 60 cents, well done. I've got some people who actually bought into this based on some of the recommendations I made. but you've had plenty of time to actually take profits around these resistances as well. But just to keep your average cost low, then now would be not a bad position to actually get in, because across the last 3 months, we're looking at a pretty strong support right over here. So put your buy orders in right now, guys, because these things are going to move as soon as we see the Bitcoin come up. It is not the end of the bull season for Bitcoin, really. It's a nice dip. The RSI is nice and low, so it is still sitting quite pretty. I will look at the market towards the end of the video once again. So that's Pass IQ, guys. Pass IQ is it's just too much for this video. Go and do a bit of research on Pass IQ. I am sure you will love the project that it is. Okay, so that being said, I just want to make one more honorable mention. Is people like talking about ENS. ENS, way too overrated. So many people talk about it. I want to talk about HNS. HNS is like your domain on the decentralized internet, sort of through the SIA network somehow. I think there is some sort of a teamwork there going on as well. And Handshake, you can buy your domain names on namebase.io, which is their website. On the decentralized internet, instead of going to like google.com, you can actually own the top level domain. The second level domain is your Google. Right, .com is your top level domain. So you can own your own .com. So it could be .io, .crypto, .whatever, right? Whatever that is. And if you own that, you can own a domain name and you can just use that. Let's say you own .robbie, right? Then you can just type in Robbie without even putting a .robbie, just type in Robbie on the internet. And that's like your web address as well on the decentralized internet. They're integrating with really big browsers like Brave, but they still got to hit the mainstream ones as well. But as and when they do, this is going to be absolutely huge. And once you actually own these top level domains, all the second level domains that get registered on will have to pay some sort of royalties or some sort of fee or purchasing power to do it. Now, the reason why they came up with this system as well is because I think it was .net or something. A lot of these top level domains are managed by this one centralized organization called ICANN, ICANN. And it is a pretty opaque organization. It's not a transparent organization. They sold off the .net top level domain, right? Which then you can get .net domains, your second level domains through GoDaddy or, name, what is it? I don't know, like HostGator or something like that. You can just get your domain names through these platforms, and the .net top level domain owner will actually then get paid a fee for actually renting that second level domain. So you actually don't truly own it, I guess. And so that ownership structure was sold to a trust fund, I think for about $3 billion or something like that. And nobody knew, but it wasn't a public tender. So it was kind of like, hey, mate, I know you, you're a good sport, you can buy it, sort of a thing. So it's like, why did it happen that way? People didn't really like it. So HNS really wants to fight that system there. So handshake.org is their website. And on Namebase, this is how they want to fight and really decentralize the naming and the certificate authority of domains on the decentralized internet. So if you visit namebase.io, you can actually own your name on the internet. And some people are flipping these at some crazy higher percentages. So this guy sold Wmatic for 1,000 HNS, which is a 24,000% gain. And there's a whole, auctioning process for this, and it's a really interesting process. I already got a video on this on my TikTok and on my channel as well. So if you want to rummage through my older video days, you can definitely find some information there as well. But I myself own 300 domain names on this website, and you can own them in like different languages like Chinese, Korean, Arabic, and it will work just as fine. So it's really, 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 really interesting platform and move forward, and there's stacks of money to be made, and there's so much more room for it to grow. And I know the team very well, and they're absolute superstars as well. I feel like I'm beginning to make this look like I'm making this video just for Handshake, but all of the Web3 tokens that I've talked about are pretty good. Now, these obviously will become good, obviously, if and only when Bitcoin does well, really, because it is obviously somewhat going to be related with what Bitcoin is going to do in the market. And obviously, if Bitcoin does well, it's going to be helpful for all these alts to behave the way we want it to behave. So if we look at the market at the moment, this current dip that people are so scared about, well, because it sits below 200 EMA and whatever. It depends how you sort of look at it, I guess. But the way I see it is that if we look at the 2-week chart, right? So if we look at a 2-week chart and we look at the RSI is actually on a pretty healthy level, right? So if we look at this RSI that's moving, the bottoms of the RSI actually connect quite nicely, and we haven't actually cracked below that RSI. This is the region at which I wouldn't feel uncomfortable buying more of. And if we look at daily chart as well, it's actually sitting at a very, very healthy region for us to actually buy into. I mean, RSI trading alone is pretty good. Could I be wrong? Potentially. I mean, if we look at, the daily chart has closed sort of right on the actual 200 EMA right there. And so that is a little bit worrying, but we have seen sort of indecision around that area as well, and it wasn't a clear sort of break into it either. So it's not like it's going to come back and test this region and then fall back down. And look, even if it does, what's your strategy? Just go buy a bit more. And at those times, I'll be investing into those high potential Web3 tokens. This is what I'll be doing. So I see some sort of a support and sort of resistance sort of level around this area here. So when the prices hit that level, then I'll be buying more of it as well. And obviously the next zone to sort of fight for or bounce out of will be sort of this area, this zone here, which is your 30,000s here. More conservatively though, now I do sense that price is dipping around this region here as well. You can go through the same exercise and put your buy orders in as well, which will then, lock in some short-term profits as well, depending on how you want to play. But I don't think the season of the bullish season for Bitcoin isn't over, and it certainly isn't the outlook by many analysts in the crypto space at the moment as well. So with that being said, guys, these are some of my top Web3 token picks. You can go out and do some research on it yourself. Obviously, not financial advice. Enjoy the research, enjoy the process, guys. One of the best ways to actually pick your coins as well is for you to just go into categories on CoinMarketCap, just like I've done so like here, and go through one of the niches that crypto seeks to solve as a real world issue in this world that we live in. And if you like a particular area, just click on it and then just become an expert in that field, and you'll be able to identify when some of the upcoming projects or the existing projects that are not as well known will be actually really good in the future. And that's how you actually lock in your multi-X. I guess is that a thing to say, like 100x, 50 to 100x tokens that you can lock in the future. That alongside of doing a bit of social volume research through Lunar Crush will be definitely really helpful for you to actually lock in some really, really good profits too. That being said, that is my video for Web 3.0. I think Web 3.0 is definitely the next move as much as the metaverse has been. That being said, invest in the Floki, go get some Cross Wallet as well. I love Cross Wallet too, a bit different to what we're talking about here, but doesn't really matter, who cares. And also remember to go and register for whitelist, provided that this video gets uploaded before the end of the whitelisting for DRNA, which is my NFT, guys. So it's just a super easy Google form. Just go register for whitelist and bada bing, bada boom, you'll be in so that you can enter the pre-sale. Only selling it for about 0.06 ETH. I'm thinking about making it even cheaper. See how I feel. And of course, make sure you go like, share, subscribe, ring that notification, but all that good stuff. Say something nice in the comments, or say something mean if you want to, because you hate me for no reason. And I will see you in the next video. Peace!